Here we go. Let me get this. All right, Catalina, which one do you want me to do? Okay, well, 44 is past 40, but I'm glad you did it, so let's take a look at it anyway. All right. Now, the reason why I'm looking at this right here is just because there's some decimals. You with me? And so if you wanted to, you could just multiply this by 2.6 and this by 1.6. You see what I'm saying? And then it would eliminate. Now, why is it annoying? Just because of the decimals. Right? So on your test tomorrow, there is no decimals. All right, that's why I'm saying, please, if you got past, and I really appreciate those of you guys who went through, I think you're amazing. All right, but don't worry about the decimals. All right, don't worry about the decimals. I really want to stay before question 40.
I think it was 39.
All right, let's take a look at 39 now. All right, for question 39. Now, someone give me some advice here. What could I do?
You can multiply the top by -3.
Multiply the top by -3. Perfect. All right, so that's what I would do. I would multiply the top by -3, so I'm just going to move it down here. Multiply the top by -3, and then let's see what happens. And then that becomes -3x plus 6y equals -3, right? And so now I have 5y equals -7. And now I kind of check my work because I'm getting a what? Fraction. So I just verify everything. All right? And I just double check. So it looks to me after I double check that y is equal to what? -7/5. Everybody okay? And now I'm taking -7/5 and I'm plugging it into y. All right? So that becomes x plus 14/5 equals 1. All right? Now remember, I should probably just go ahead and review this. Let me just go ahead and review this. All right, so it would be x minus 2 times -7/5. I would prefer that you not use the calculator, but of course I don't care. All right, I want to make sure that everybody understands when I multiply -2 times -7/5, you should be able to tell me confidently that that would be x plus 14/5 equals 1. Yes.
Why isn't it -10?
Because you're multiplying by 2/1, buddy. Come on. Right. Yeah. Well, I'm not there yet. Okay, so now from here I subtract 14/5. So x is equal to 1 minus 14/5. But 1 is the same as 5/5. So x is -9/5. Everybody okay with that? And so my answer is -9/5, comma, -7/5. Everybody okay with this? And now what?
If you go back down here to the bottom, where did you get the 5 inside?
1
Oh.
is the same as 5/5. Do you agree? Because I'm getting a common denominator.
And also, like, you know the y equals.
That's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
All right? What?
Can you do 36?
Not yet. Okay? Here we go. Now on this problem right here, all right, now we're putting it into y1 and y2. Now, in my opinion, this is the most important thing because this is how you determine if you're going to get 100 on tomorrow's test. Because you can just plug it into the calculator to check all of your work. All right? So to check your work, you're going to plug in parentheses 1 minus x divided by -2. And then I'm going to plug in -4 minus 3x divided by -1. Now everybody do that. All right? And double check. So type it in. And the answer, I think, is negative 1.8, comma, negative 1.4. Is that what comes up on the calculator?
Yes.
All right, now let's just say you wanted to check your calculator to see if the fraction is correct. All right, now does everybody understand this automatically stored it as what? And this automatically stored it as y. All right, so please listen, because I just think this is a powerful tool if you know this. All right, I want to convert the x to a fraction. So if you go to your home screen by hitting second quit, you can do x, hit the x button, and then you hit math, fraction, and then hit enter. And it'll tell you that it worked out to be negative 9/5. Is that correct? Now you want to check what the y value was. So go to y. Now how do you hit y? You have to hit alpha, and then I believe the y is the 1. Does everybody agree with me?
Yeah.
Alpha 1, and then the y comes up, and then you convert that to a what? Fraction. And then when you do that, that comes up to be what? It should come up to be negative 7/5. Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
So your answer that when you find the point of intersection, that automatically stores it as x and automatically stores it as y. Everybody good? All right, what?
Tomorrow, can we just write down the if it's a shorter decimal, can we just write down the decimal seven?
I don't care, but to solve it, we use a what to solve it, Gavin? Fractions. Right? When I solved it, it came out to be a fraction, not a decimal. You with me?
Yes.
But the calculator does it as a...
So what is it? Is it second quit and then?
Yeah, let's double check.
That's right. Oh, I just did it. I found my question.
55 and 4. Is that what you
Well, I got 55 and 5.
Okay, so here we go. Now, somebody else who had a particular question. What?
36.
So let's take a look at 36 real quick. All right. Yeah, now, again, I say 36 is really as hard as it gets. All right? 36 really is as hard as it gets. All right, so everybody take a look here, and let's work this out. All right, now, to solve this, all right, to solve this now, what do I need to multiply the equations by?
6
By what?
So you do the top by -2 and the bottom by 3.
That's what I would say, -2 and 3. Could you choose something different? Yes, you can choose something different. All right, but that's kind of nice. Just 12 and -12 cancels out. All right, so now when we multiply the top by -2, we get -12x plus 10y equals 20. And then we get 12x minus 21y is equal to -75. Is everybody good with this? All right. Now, crossing out, I end up with -11y equals -55. So y is equal to what? 5. All right. Now you're just going to let y equal 5. Doesn't matter which one you pick, but let's just put it in here. So 6x minus 25 equals -10. 6x equals 15. So x is equal to 15 over 6, which reduces to 5 over 2. Thank you.
We can reduce it.
So your answer is 5/2, comma, 5. All right, that shouldn't be a celebration here because you should already know if you're right. The reason why I say that is because you just go to y1, right? And under y1, you just type in -10 minus 6x, close it, divided by -5. And under y2, you type in what? -25 minus 4x divided by negative 7. And then just double check your work. Type that in, second, calc, intersection, enter, 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 and then it'll tell you if you're correct. That's why I say this is the most important part, because if you get this right, then you know if your answer is correct. Somebody else. Yes, sir.
I have a question on 36. So, why is it negative 25 minus 4x divided by negative 7? Why is it negative 25 plus 4x?
Because I moved the 4x over,
Oh.
so it becomes negative. Yes, sir.
And then what's 33?
All right, let's take a look at 33. All right, now what's nice about this one, right? It's just an addition problem, right? So this one shouldn't be too bad. Just got to be careful. So 9x is equal to 40. So x is equal to 40 over 9. All right, now I'm going to plug it in up here for x. So 7 times 40 over 9 plus 5y equals 25. So now 7 times 40 over 9 and now what? We subtract. So 5y is equal to 25 minus 280 over 9. Now 25, if I had a common denominator, 25 times 9, 225 over 9. And so 5y is equal to negative 55 over 9. And if I divide by 5, 55 divided by 5 is 11. So y is negative 11 ninths. All right, now again, it's not about fractions, it's about systems of equations. So do I care if you use your calculator to kind of work that through? I don't care. All right, I would like for you to see what I did and make sure you're okay with what I did. All right, so now my solution is 40 over 9, comma, negative 11 over 9. And then let's talk about y1. Where's 25 over 9?
No, it's 220.
It's 225 over 9. It was a... Okay? All right, now let's go to y1. Somebody tell me what y1 would be. Quickly.
25.
I'm listening.
Parentheses 25 minus 7x plus parentheses divided by 5.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. And the next one would be?
Parentheses 15 minus 2x plus parentheses
Divided by negative 5. Everybody do that. Now again, the next thing I want you to do is when you do that, now you're going to get the decimals. I want you to practice turning your decimal into what? Into fractions using your calculator. All right, everybody do that real quick. Let's go. Make sure you can do that. If you can do that, then I'm sure you can make 100 tomorrow. All right, everybody make sure. You got it? How are you doing? Anybody have any issues with calculator? What?
When I put x into the fraction, it gives me a decimal.
Well, first of all, I don't think that's the right answer.
What?
I don't think that's
Yeah.
the right answer. Second,
Oh,
So it's
Fraction. How do you get this? Second fraction. How do you get this then? Enter alpha. It's alpha 1. And so you're saying that then we hit pretty much. Well then you hit X. What is alpha?
27. 25.
Oh,
So you want to solve it?
it doesn't matter the number.
I got master calculators. Hey! There
Okay, here we go, guys. I need to move forward. Somebody asked me about 35, so I'm going to go ahead and do 35 real quick. All right? So now, last Friday, I believe I told you I wanted you to multiply, or one of the possibilities was to multiply by 3 and by -2. Emily, are you okay with that? This is the one you asked me about, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I just it just turned into a decimal and I think I got 0.5. 0.
Well, I'm telling you, you have to, it'll tell you what the answer is, right? Check to see. You know what I mean? Like you would type in 4 minus 6x divided by 8 and 7 minus 9x divided by 10. You understand me? And then you hit math or second calc intersection, enter, and it'll tell you what the answer is. What was the answer to number 35? Anybody tell me?
4/3
That's what the answer should be. If you didn't do that, that just means you made a mistake with the multiplying. You see that, Emily, or not?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do 38?
What do you want me to do on this one, kiddo?
I did it twice and I kept getting
It's okay, it's okay. All I want you to do is tell me, how do I solve this? What would I do?
Multiply the first one by -2.
Yes, you do. All right, so that means you're in good shape. So multiply by -2. Now, generally, the problem is people make a mistake when they do the distributive property. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you have to be careful. All right? So if I multiply by -2, I get -2x plus 6y equals 20. Now you double check to see if that's what you got.
Yeah.
All right? Now we're adding that. All right? All right, now when I add that, that becomes what?
7y.
It's that simple. 7y equals 21, so y is equal to what? 3. Agreed? Now I plug 3 in for y. So x minus 9 equals -10. X equals -1. Right? And so now my solution is what? Well, I just want the answer. -1 comma 3. That's what I'm telling you, right? And then you're right up here. y1 -10 minus x divided by -3, right? And then I want, well, this one I don't even need a parentheses because just 1 minus 2x. Is that very good? Okay, now let me say something real quick because somebody came in and said something pretty smart to me today. I was shocked. All right. Somebody asked me if there's going to be the SAT questions on this test. And Gavin came in and said, well, he took the SATs this weekend, and there were a lot of these problems on the test. Listen to what I'm saying. That is 100% true. There's a lot of these questions on the SAT test. So when you ask me, are we doing SAT problems, I'm telling you that we are. These are the SAT questions. Do you ever hear what I'm saying? Nothing special. It's either you know how to solve the systems of equations or you do not. Do you ever hear me? So these are the SAT questions. You have to know how to solve graphically. You have to know how to addition. You have to do by substitution. You have to do what's referred to as an elimination. All right?
And we're allowed to use
You are allowed to use your calculator. Yes. I want you to use the calculator because I want you to check your work and I want you to make 100.
No, I meant on
That's
the
what I want.
SAT.
On the SAT, you're allowed to use the calculator half the time. All right? Half the time.
Okay, so after I like put in the y equals, now it becomes like a little decimals.
But we didn't get decimals as our answer,
Exactly.
which means you typed it in incorrectly. So go back to your boys. Stop. I'm discussing. I'm working. I'm concentrating. I'm helping. You're not. So what did you type it in as? Listen to me now. Listen to what I'm saying. Of all things, don't be mad at me, that's what your mistakes are. Careless. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm trying to get you ready for the test tomorrow. So when you get something different, the number one mistake I said is that people type it in incorrectly. Now, the biggest mistake people make is they use a minus sign and a negative sign. They don't know the difference. All right, so you have to be careful with that. You need to know the difference so you don't make a mistake. All right, so please be careful with your entering the data in.
Number 40.
All right, here we go. Let's check out 40. Now, this one's a nice one. Really nice. 0 equals 5. So if 0 equals 5, that means it's what? No solution. And then,
Parallel lines.
yes, they are parallel lines. All right? Now, we're going to verify that, obviously. So come over here. Under Y1, type in. Go. What am I typing in? Good. 7 plus 9x divided by 4. And then under Y2, -2 minus 9x divided by -4. Everybody type that in and look at it. And when you look at it, make sure that you can see that it is what? That they are parallel lines. All right, next, I have a request for question 34. So I'm going to scroll back down to 34. 34 looks like we already did in class.
Yeah, we did it on Friday.
Oh yeah.
That was like the really hard one.
That was a
Yep.
tough one.
Hey. Yes. Good.
On number 40, we have to put parallel lines.
No, someone asked me that. I'm just emphasizing that if it's no solution, that means it means that they're parallel lines. You with me? All right. I'm trying to make sure that you understand. No solution means the lines are parallel. That's all. All right. I know that occurs constantly on SATs. You have to know what that means. All right. It means there's no solution. Just like if it's the same line, you're supposed to say that there's an infinite number of solutions. All right. Not all real numbers. There's a difference. Okay. Now, I think that's really good for us. So what I did, I want to make sure you're hearing me now. Listen, I sent out the solutions for 1 through 40. All right, the test tomorrow has 10 questions. I made it small enough so that you go back and do what? Check every answer. All right, there's going to be some graphs. You have to graph it by hand, but you can also check that with your what? Calculator. All right, then you have to do a couple substitutions. Then you have to do a couple additions. Then you have to just do it however you want to do it. All right, but again, I honestly think everybody should be good with getting 100 on the test because you can check your work. All right, if your answers don't match up, then you got to determine whether you made a mistake plugging the number into the calculator or whether you made a mistake with your arithmetic. All right, so please look over questions 1 through 40. All right, practice. All right, I think it's easy. Yes, last question.
You answered it.
All right, perfect. Now listen, we're not talking. All right, you're studying. All right, review some problems. If there's a couple problems you didn't do, try them and then check your answer. No, I don't want you doing IXL. I want you practicing these problems. Rework them.